Crowds and crime. Miami Beach once again suffers through a tough Memorial Day weekend, and now there are calls for change. We'll hear from both sides in this debate.
I believe we figured out a way that we can continue to do what we all agree with.
Special session. Can state lawmakers do in 3 days what they could not in 2 months? Florida House Speaker Richard Corcoran is right here live in the studio.
What they want to be seen as doing is being muscular, being flexible.
Cuba redo. Insiders say President Trump will soon come to Miami to announce a much harder line toward Havana. We will take that to the roundtable.
And so much more. Good morning. Great to have you here. What a packed program we have for you in the next hour. And we start with the surprise announcement of a 3-day special session this week.
This coming week, Wednesday, in fact, lawmakers are going to return to Tallahassee to resolve 3 critical issues they could not fix in the regular session. How much money to allocate for schools, business recruitment, and tourism. On Friday, the state's 3 most powerful politicians held a surprise news conference in Miami where they said they had worked it all out. Those politicians are the governor, whom you see there, the Senate President Joe Negron, and the House Speaker.
Richard Corcoran is that House Speaker, Republican from Land O'Lakes. He, with the governor and Senate President, revealed the product of what largely were private negotiations among them that led to the special session later this week.
Speaker Corcoran.
Good morning.
Great to have you come in. We're glad you were here.
Thank you.
All right, so for months, you and the governor principally, also Senator Negron to some extent, were feuding over Enterprise Florida, Visit Florida, and how much money to allocate for the schools of Florida. And then suddenly you pop up, as Glenna says, on Friday, and you say, hey, we've got a solution. How did you get there, and why wasn't it more transparent?
Well, I think it was transparent. The reality is all of these things were debated and talked about throughout the entire set. They've been talked about for the last year. This goes back to our previous session in dealing with corporate welfare. And I think what happened is after we got out of session, we got very close on Visit Florida, having it funded at $76 million with oversight. The House led the way in going after these contracts, suing to have them be transparent, and we wanted that in statute. We got very close there. On Enterprise Florida, really what we got to the point was our position has always been this, is no corporate welfare, no picking winners and losers. There's nothing American about giving money to one guy that competes with another guy that's already been here. And so what we said, though, what we are for in terms of economic development is infrastructure, education, deregulation, across the board tax cuts.
But in the end, it appears, in fact, you did sort of relent on Enterprise Florida in order to get the governor's promise that he's going to support your big House Bill 7069.
No, in fact, the compromise in Enterprise Florida is that we ended corporate welfare, we don't pick winners and losers, and the investments would be made through the Department of Economic Opportunity, not Enterprise Florida, and it would be made for across-the-board public benefit and infrastructure and education. And that's a significant change. We're the first state in the union to do that. I think it's a model for the rest of the nation.
So Wednesday through Friday, you have 3 days on the plate for the special session is going to be the bills that you've worked out. So what you just talked about, Enterprise Florida, Visit Florida, and then education funding, which now has roughly the equivalent of $100 more per student, better to public school advocates who are still absolutely apoplectic about urging the governor to veto the bill you just mentioned, 7069, which is that mammoth education reform. So, House Speaker, can you talk about this particular bill? Because what it sounds like and what's been reported is that there was sort of a horse trade going on, that the governor will not veto it. And then the public school sell that we've been seeing about how horrible it's going to be for public schools, frame how that is going to work in this 3-day session.
Well, I think that what I've said is all along is that this is, in my opinion, the greatest pro-school choice, pro-parent, pro-teacher, pro-student bill in the history of the state of Florida. This is something that empowers kids. It gives them mandatory recess time, which we know helps their learning. It goes into failure factories and allows those kids to get a real education and give them dignity, hope, and a future. It gives pay raises to our teachers who are effective and highly effective. It goes in and helps children with disabilities. It's a broad sweeping bill that was both the Senate, the House, Republican, and Democrat conceived. That's why you have a lot of those parts. As far as the session goes, I think what I've said is that the governor has had a history of being very, very pro-school choice. This is the greatest pro-school choice bill. So I'm optimistic that he will sign it. But it's clearly there's still a lot of opposition.
Yes, and my understanding of public school opposition is that it adds all of the things that you're talking about will take away from public schools. It will be detrimental to public schools, and that the kids who go to public schools will be left out. And the bottom line is that they feel like this is going to be the beginning of the end of the public school system, which I guess raises the question, is the public school model obsolete? Is that where you're going?
No, I'll say three things real fast. One is the entire change is in public schools. All of this money goes to public schools. None of the money in this bill goes to anything but public schools. Number one, that's a complete misnomer. Number two is all they care about, the traditional public schools, all they're fighting for is money. And the money that they're most upset about goes to buildings. And I'll concede, yes, the traditional public schools are building beautiful buildings, $40 million buildings. And what this bill does is say, we don't care about beautiful buildings, we care about beautiful minds. And we're going to take all of that money and we're going to put it into giving these kids an opportunity to have a beautiful education.
But Speaker Corcoran, the centerpiece of your bill, 7069, is $140 million for charter schools. Now, charter schools are quasi-public schools. We understand that, and some are excellent, some are mediocre to poor. But I think that the objection I hear from Alberto Carvalho, Robert Runcie, other school education leaders in South Florida, is that part of that $140 million is going to go to charter school for-profit operators who own the buildings, and they're going to take some of this money, build the buildings, but the buildings will not be owned by the taxpayers who essentially are buying them.
No, first of all, every single charter school that's participating in the Schools of Hope program is a not-for-profit. Second of all, what these people are coming in to do at public school, not-for-profit, is to come in to failure factories. We have 115 of them. So what really those superintendents should care about, in Jefferson County, a child today that is graduating has been stuck in a failure factory from every single grade of their life, from kindergarten to 12th grade. If this was a home and it was a mom and dad who said, we're opting out of the public school system and we're going to educate our children, and they come and they check and the children are getting no education whatsoever, DCF would come, take those children, and they'd prosecute the parents. The outrage should absolutely be, how in the world, in the third largest state and the richest country in the world, do we have failure factories? And so what we did is this money goes to proven charter operators. There's no risk on whether they're good or bad. They have to have 80% graduation rates to go on to college. They have to have a successful business model. They have to have scores that are at the average or higher than their county and their state. That's how they become a School of Hope operator.
So the deal is the governor's going to sign that? Is that the deal for the special session?
I say it all the time, Glenna, that he has a tremendous record for being pro-school choice. This is the best school choice bill in the history of the state. I'm optimistic.
Can I ask you a larger question about the session? I was at your press conference on Friday, and for the first time, the governor, the House Speaker, the Senate President, kumbaya, everybody presented this united front. But Senate President Joe Negron didn't sound as if he were all in. I think what he said was, we'll be there in the 3 days and we will consider proposals from the Senate point of view. I'm paraphrasing what he said. Are you concerned that this 3 days may not go as smoothly as you planned?
And if I could jump in, even Senator Jack Latvala, who is one of the leading Republicans in the Senate, he didn't say, hey, it's not a given, we're not going to rubber stamp everything.
Yeah, I don't think that, that's not the way it works. I think the House and the Senate will both look at it and engage in the nuances of the legislation. That's why we're there. But I do think that President Negron was very optimistic in the press conference in the context that on Visit Florida they had funded it. What they wanted was the funding. What we wanted was the accountability. We insisted on it after we had to sue for these contracts and show over and over the gratuitousness of what was going on in Visit Florida. And Enterprise Florida, they wanted full incentives and they wanted it fully funded. We weren't objecting to the funding, but we wanted to end corporate welfare, end picking winners and losers. Yeah. All these are compromises where I think that everyone's come together, and so it's probably good. And we all agree in doing whatever we can for our K-12 educational system.
Speaker Corcoran, an item not on the agenda for the special session is medical marijuana. 71% of Florida voters said we want medical marijuana, and The legislature was supposed to write the rules, regulations, and couldn't do it. What, are you going to talk about medical marijuana?
Yeah, and we're still negotiating, Michael. It's a great question. And literally yesterday, today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all these senators and all these House members are having different phone calls. And really it comes down to the quantity of dispensaries that could be in the state of Florida. We want what the people voted for, and what the House is honoring is they voted for medicinal marijuana and they wanted access to it. When you start capping the number of dispensaries, and a mom who's got a child who has epileptic seizures and wants to get access to medical marijuana, and now she's got to drive 4 hours, that's not access.
You're going to get it on the agenda?
I'm optimistic again, Glenda, that I think that the Senate President and he's got his team working on it. We have a team of legislators working on it. To the extent that we can add to the call by Wednesday, medical marijuana, I think it would be best for the people of the state of Florida.
House Speaker Richard Corcoran, what a pleasure to have you come in.
Thanks for having
See
me.
you in Tallahassee, I think, this week later at the session.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll need it.
All right, when we come back, the recurring controversy over crowds and crime on Miami Beach on Memorial Day weekend and other big weekends. We will have the mayor and a hotel owner who are going to join us in just a minute.
In what has become an annual ritual after Memorial Day weekend, crimes and crowds and shootings in Miami Beach, the call for change is again underway.
The call for reform was sparked this week by the shooting death of a Homestead man during a dispute over a parking space, believe it or not, and then the police in Miami Beach shot and killed the driver of the getaway car. That disturbing incident happened in addition to a lot of drunken behavior by partiers. For years, Miami Beach leaders have debated ways to deal with the fallout from Urban Beach Week, and this week, Mayor Philip Levine called for a ban on alcohol sales after 2 a.m. on Ocean Drive, and that brought a quick backlash from Ocean Drive clubs, bars, and hotels.
Mayor Levine is here to talk about that proposed curfew and, in the bigger picture, how to balance a city's image as party central and a safe, quality place to live.
Mitch Novick is the owner of the Sherbrooke Hotel in South Beach. He has spoken out forcefully against inappropriate, sometimes criminal behavior that he has witnessed firsthand, and posted video showing drunken brawls and crazy driving and other things.
And also joining us, the mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Jack Seiler, to give us perspective on what that city has done to reduce what is years of chaos on the beach caused by spring break. And Mayor Seiler, we appreciate you joining this panel because I think you give perspective of what could be with all of the things that Miami Beach is going through right now.
Gentlemen, great to have you here. So, Mr. Mayor, tell us, how would stopping serving alcohol, booze on Ocean Drive at 2 a.m. fix the problems of Ocean Drive?
Well, Michael, I could tell you this. There's no specific one answer. But we've been working on this for a few years. And, for example, we rolled back liquor on the sidewalks from 5 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Right.
What ends up happening is, throughout Miami Beach, you can go and have liquor till 5 a.m. at our hotels, our clubs. But on Ocean Drive, what we have there is an open air, almost like this bizarre environment where people are coming to party till late at night. And unfortunately, you have prostitution, you have drug dealing, and it's become mayhem. We're putting so many police assets there, and the residents of Miami Beach want those police assets in other areas to protect their homes and their apartments. If you roll it back to 2 a.m., last call's at 1:30, people won't be as inclined to go out that late, knowing that is not a place to go wild all night.
You know, we were just looking at some video. I think, Mitch, it was your video, and you as a hotel owner, a property owner, you have been very involved in, you have a blog, or can I call it a blog?
The South Beach Sludge Report.
Where
on
you
Facebook.
make public a lot of what you see in real time. And is this, to you as a property owner, is this a Memorial Day weekend problem, or has something happened to the tone and tenor of Ocean Drive and South Beach?
Something has happened, and it's been in a decline for about 10 years.
Why?
I attribute it entirely to open air entertainment. It's this noise which creates this, what I often term the carnival-like crime-ridden circus on the street, which lures in all the riffraff and bad behavior we're witnessing. The attacks on residents and tourists, it cannot sustain itself. And I'm optimistic, or let's just say cautiously optimistic, that we're at a crossroad, and hopefully positive reform and change will be implemented.
Mayor Levine, if I may, where is the fairness if somebody wants to drink after 2 a.m. and they want to go to Collins, a block in, or Washington, lots of bars and clubs over there, and also liquor stores, I mean, they would still be serving. So, I mean, do you really fix the problem by trying to clamp down on Ocean Drive?
But let me say this. First of all, this is not a Memorial Day weekend issue. This is all year round.
Right.
We want everyone to be able to come to visit Miami Beach 52 weeks a year. So to pinpoint Memorial Day is wrong, and by the way, we had a commissioner come out and say that when a ban Memorial Day weekend, that's wrong, and that's not who Miami Beach is. But the fact of the matter is, because of this open air environment on this one street, it's become a carnival atmosphere, like Mitch was saying. Once again, people can come to Miami Beach and drink till 5 a.m. You can go to our hotels, our clubs, and you can still drink on Miami Beach on Ocean Drive till 5 a.m. if this passes. Inside a hotel.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Oh, we want to bring Mayor Seiler in, but first I want to take you to a quick clip of sound from a press conference you had, because I feel like we need the Ocean Drive Entertainment Carnival operators voice here. So this clip of sound was, you're going to hear Mayor Levine and David Wallach, who is the owner of an establishment called Mangoes on Ocean Drive. Okay, so now I hear we don't have that sound, so I will paraphrase what David Wallach was saying was, don't pick on us. We, the hotel, we, the establishment and the entertainment industry, are what made Ocean Drive and what made Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale as well what it is today. We bring in resort taxes. We're the reason Miami Beach is so cool.
Can I answer that?
Of course.
I mean, I don't know what history book this man read, but I remember a great man by the name of Tony Goldman, who recreated Ocean Drive, Barbara Capman, Nancy Lehman, Craig and Scott Robbins, Chris Blackwell, Gianni Versace. Those were the days when Ocean Drive was great for families and friends, and everyone would go and enjoy it. He kind of rewrote history there a little bit and yelling and screaming at a press conference. We don't do business that way, and we will never be bullied.
Mayor Seiler, you provided us with some statistics from your Memorial Day weekend. 16 arrests, but for 16 people, that's not bad for a big crowded party weekend. But Fort Lauderdale was, I will say, when I was in high school, a crazy place.
Oh yeah.
And which your city successfully sort of turned around and gave a different face to. And how did that, are there lessons to be learned here?
There are lessons, and I commend Mayor Levine for what he's doing. I mean, you have to take some decisive action, and it's going to upset some people, and it's going to rattle some people, but at the end of the day, Fort Lauderdale changed its image as that spring break mecca. And we still had 100,000 spring breakers this year, but it wasn't that rowdy, raucous spring break. We changed it, but it took years, and we had the hotels push back, and we had some of the bars and restaurants push back. But look, my rule about the beach and the parks and all that, one group can't exclude the other's enjoyment of that. And what has happened, I think, on South Beach is that a group that isn't necessarily family friendly, that isn't necessarily law abiding, has now disrupted everybody else's enjoyment of it. So I commend them. I'm not, item by item we could talk about, but you could see what we did in Fort Lauderdale. We addressed it back in the late 80s on spring break, and then specifically we had issues with Memorial Day weekend, and about 3 years ago we came up with a whole new plan. Our police chief, Rick Maglione, did a fabulous job, but what we did was all in, all across the barrier island.
Well, whatever you did worked. Yeah, I mean, you still have kids are partying, but it's not crazy the way it was after Where the Boys Are came out.
A 4-day weekend with 16 arrests with only 47 calls for service. But we did have a great holistic approach, and as we laid it out, we did everything from license plate readers and posting that we have license plate readers. Our law enforcement saw cars turn around on 17th Street Causeway when we had disclosed there are license plate readers as you cross the bridge, and all of a sudden they stopped. We put so many different resources out there, and it worked.
Okay, license plate readers were employed on Miami Beach. When? Last year?
We brought in the most incredible police chief, Dan Oates, who has changed that entire...
Where did the license plate readers go?
We put them on MacArthur, and I believe we're also doing on Julia Tuttle as well.
But not this year.
I believe that they were putting them in this year, and our chief has done an incredible job. Remember, in 2011, before I was mayor, we had an incident where over 100 shots were fired into a car of an African American. And I said, I become mayor, we're going to change that police department's culture. And Dan Oates has done it. I mean, this year, the arrests are half as much.
So license plate readers, before we go to break, and I know we do, my understanding was because the causeways are state roads, the state will not allow the license plate readers. Is that
we've been able to use them in certain areas. And we're working with the state to make sure we get it all done.
Mitch Novick, very quickly, Ocean Drive is a worldwide brand. People come from all over the world. When I have traveled abroad, people say, oh yeah, Miami Beach, Ocean Drive. are you not sort of in jeopardy of losing a worldwide brand or tarnishing it?
I will state with certainty the brand has been damaged considerably.
Not irreparably.
I've been in. It could be repaired, but that repair needs to take place ASAP.
All right,
As someone
gotta be-
who's been in the
yeah.
hotel business for 30 years, I've been catering to tourists from all over the world, and I can state categorically that in recent years, 95% of them all ask me, Mitch, what has happened to Ocean Drive? And
Well,
unfortunately, many of these guests are no longer returning.
All right, we are out of time. Gentlemen, thank you for coming in.
We're going
and
to come back and you want to do some more of this?
well, I guess we could.
We can,
All
yeah.
right.
We'll continue this discussion when we come right back. Stay with us.
Welcome back to a discussion with Jack Seller, Mayor of Fort Lauderdale, a city that successfully changed its former image as a kind of chaotic spring break destination. Mayor Philip Levine of Miami Beach and Mitch Novak, hotel owner. Mayor Levine, this week a commissioner on Miami Beach, Kristen Rosen Gonzalez, sent out an email in which she said, and I'm trying to characterize this accurately, that Miami Beach police need to take off their body cams because the body cameras are inhibiting them enforcing laws. And she said they need to get their bullets back. I'm not sure exactly. We'd have to have her here to explain what she meant, but how did you interpret it?
Well, it was an outrageous statement to make. I am hoping that the commissioner made a mistake, and I think she's come out and apologized for her mistake. That is not what Miami Beach is about. Miami Beach was the first to put body cameras on, even before Ferguson. It's one of the things we did. But, you know, we have a police
And they've
chief,
worked out.
And they've worked very well. And our police chief, remember something, he was the head of NYPD intelligence under Bill Bratton. He was the chief in Aurora, Colorado during that horrible Batman shooting in the theater where President Obama said he's the greatest chief in America. What he has done has been no less than fantastic on Miami Beach. And
So police have been aggressive enough
absolutely,
on Ocean Drive
100%,
and other parts of the city?
100%. 100%. And by the way, it's like the question, of course, with our police is, do you want to put that much more resources in one little section? It makes no economic sense, and the brand damage, like Mitch said, is overwhelming for us.
You know, with all the focus on the police, and Jack and I were talking during the break about all the programming that you're doing during the weekend. There's also, you know, in my mind, there are a set of codes and laws in the city. Mitch is a property owner. Why not focus on the codes and enforcing the codes really strictly? Because I will tell you, I spoke to a hotel front desk woman, not the owner, who says that they rent $250 a night rooms to 2 people, and then there's 20 in the room, and nobody does anything about it. Why not focus on the codes already there and crack down, and would that help?
Possibly. I've always asserted the problems on Ocean Drive are not a police issue. They're entirely a zoning issue. I spoke about the open air entertainment earlier, and that is the crux of the problem. The larger issue are the commissioners and political candidates who take enormous contributions, or what the legal amount, maximum amount they can take. They become beholden to these special interests. And I'm wondering, with this impending vote for the mayor's legislation to roll back closing time and abate the noise, I'm wondering why some commissioners are still continuing to do backflips supportive of their special interests that they're beholden to.
You know, the counter programming, the RNC show, I know is one step to counter program against other programming that you're not inclined to enjoy. In Fort Lauderdale, Mayor, you did that, and that worked for you, counter programming?
Fantastic. We programmed Monday as a family fun day. We actually made a considerable effort with multiple departments out there, but really created a very family-friendly environment, which truthfully just isn't cool to hang out with some of the crowd that wants to disrupt that. And so we did that on Monday. On Sunday, we actually had more of a musical day, but
so that
works extremely well. Saturday is our Great American Beach Party, car show from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. That nostalgic day, again, is not a type of atmosphere that creates disruption. And so we really programmed the whole weekend around that. And then we've also, as I just told you, we're now putting in our budget for this coming year a nighttime management team that'll oversee Fort Lauderdale's nighttime economy. and address that
Yeah.
very specifically.
Night shift
Sounds
government.
like a wise move. Mayor Levine, before we run out of time, a delicate topic is race and the fact that Urban Beach Week is predominantly an event that attracts young black men and women, the overwhelming majority of whom just want to come and have a good time and obey the law and have a party. But there are some people who are saying your proposal is not sensitive to black visitors to Miami Beach.
Right. And Michael, I think it's not mine. I think it was another commissioner's proposal. My proposal is all year round in this one section because, as I said before, I don't even necessarily believe that we need to do counter programming because if this demographic enjoys Miami Beach, they've been enjoying it for years. It's been going relatively well over the last 5 years. We had one incident the other night, but we need to make sure whatever we
terrible
do,
incident, yeah.
what we need to do is make sure that whatever we do is all year round because it has nothing to do with one specific weekend. It has to do with this section of town.
And that will be the last word. Thank you so much for coming in, everybody. I know this goes fast, right?
Jack
All right.
Seller, thank you. Mitch Novick, Mayor Levine, great to see you.
Up next, we take it all to the roundtable. Stay with us.
So much has happened in this past week. It just cries out for considered analysis and some informed opinion, and that's what we're going to do with our Powerhouse Roundtable.
With a little bit of spice involved. Let's introduce our roundtable members this Sunday afternoon. We have with us today Rafael Yanez of Miami, a political activist and analyst, a graduate of the University of Florida and University of Miami School of Law. H.T. Smith, a widely respected Miami attorney, a law professor at Florida International University, and a legal icon, our own. Another legal icon in the making, Melba Pearson, is Deputy Director of American Civil Liberties Union of Florida and also a former prosecutor with the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office. Welcome, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, and fellow beach resident.
Yes.
Great to have you
about
come in. Rafael Yanez, here you heard Richard Corcoran a few minutes ago talking about how they came up, he and Senator Negron, Governor Scott, who had been at odds, particularly Corcoran and the governor, and suddenly they're buddy-buddy, it's kumbaya, and they've come up with this deal, and they just want, it seems to me, the legislature to go and rubber stamp it.
That's exactly what it looks like, and unfortunately, we're operating, or not we, the legislature's operating outside of the public light, out of the sunshine.
Yeah.
And it's an antithesis to what Florida used to be the leading example that other states would model their the public open records laws and open meeting laws, they would model them after Florida. And now we're going line by line, day by day, session by session, gutting these laws. And these actions are not helping.
Yeah, this is really awful. Basically, they said, well, we're not violating the Sunshine Law because we were not in the same room together. We were on the same telephone line together, making this deal not in the sunshine. Yeah. Right. And I'm really disappointed that Governor Scott had a line item veto of enough money so that he would be able to give corporate welfare, this so-called Enterprise Florida, which is not going to be Enterprise Florida, but it's still corporate welfare to friends and supporters. And we're gutting our public educational system.
Job growth, the Job Growth Fund is what they call it, not Enterprise Florida anymore. But you know what the speaker talked about, it's that it's not going to be doled out to individual companies anymore, but to companies for the greater good, infrastructure, somebody needs a new road paved that will benefit everybody. Does that fly with you?
It doesn't, and quite simply, this is just very troublesome. One of the line items that was vetoed very quietly last week was $300,000 for research having to do with the criminal justice system. We have the third largest prison population in the state of Florida. Half of the people there are there for nonviolent offenses.
What was the research? Research what?
It was going to be a criminal justice task force where they would basically look at what we're doing in our criminal justice system, analyze what we can do, and make findings as to what we can do better, how we can reduce our prison population, how we can reduce recidivism, and that money, poof, gone. Yeah. Unacceptable.
Well, a lot of money when the governor vetoed that bill is out the door, including the superintendent of Miami-Dade County Schools wanted just $100,000. I mean, that's a lot of money, but $100,000 to study the disparity in pay between small and large school districts and how to narrow the gap. I don't find that unreasonable to do that.
Especially in an $80-some billion budget.
Yeah.
And this is something that's important. This is something that should be a priority. And it's a shame that we don't know, the people and the press don't know how the three kings of Florida came up with a decision as to who would be punished and what would be punished and who would be given rewards.
Can I just, those who know me know I am not a numbers gal. I'm an English major, but the veto, line-by-line veto that the governor made came out to $410 million. House Bill 7069, that education reform bill, the price tag on that is $419 million. Is there, a correlation there, do you think?
The biggest challenge that we have is that we need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The 2 months of the session were mired in scandal, and they couldn't come up with a plan during 2 months. And now we expect them that in 3 days they're magically going to come up with all these numbers. 7069 that you referred to, Glenna, is an abomination, unfortunately. It's gutting our public schools, it's gutting inner city schools, depriving them of not just inner city schools, but even rural counties in Florida where students are challenged and they need these funds desperately in the school districts to help the students succeed. You're now allowing charter school companies to open up next door, but they get to cherry pick their students. So the more involved families are naturally going to gravitate towards those charter schools.
Don't magnet schools and schools of choice that are public schools get to cherry pick their students too?
In a different way. They work through lotteries. So magnet schools that are in demand, such we have several here in Miami, they work through a lottery system with applicants, and then it's up to chance and the luck of God. So here we're dealing with public tax dollars, and we have to make a fundamental choice. Are we going to distribute it towards privately run schools, or are we going to distribute it to our public school systems? Now, full disclosure, I'm the son of a Miami-Dade County public schools teacher. I'm very proud of the work that she and her colleagues do, and I think that the superintendent, with the resources, he's very humble, he's very kind, he's very polite. I think if he made a very muscular approach on this issue, the legislature would see that he's a force to be reckoned with. Our school board is a force to be reckoned with as the largest district in this county.
But I have to say, with all deference to Speaker Corcoran, he's not deferring to either Alberto Carvalho, the Miami-Dade School Board, Robert Runcie, school superintendent in Broward. They are going their own way and ignoring a lot of public education leaders.
Michael, sorry, but who donates to them? School teachers don't have the salaries to donate. If school teachers had the salaries to donate the way that private corporate executives do, I think the legislature would be listening to them a little more.
And I hope all of your listeners heard Raphael answer the first question that was asked, and that is this just a rubber stamp? The only way it could work is a rubber stamp. In 60 days, they couldn't even come close to a deal. So in 3 days, the only way it'll work is they rubber stamp it.
Right. All right, before we take a break, let's begin a discussion about the change in Cuba policy. We are told President Trump is going to come here, Raphael, later this month, maybe go to FIU, and make a speech in which he says, I'm going to roll back most or some of the Obama policy changes with regard to Cuba, opening things up. The implications here for South Florida are enormous because the amount of money that airlines, cruise ships, ag industry have put in, we're talking about billions of dollars.
I will not hold my breath. I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. I think that we all need to approach with caution because this president said one thing on the campaign trail. He came here to Miami and like you said, he said he was going to tear up the deal, make a better deal with the Castros, but he is the self-proclaimed king of the deal, of making the art of the deal. I don't believe he's going to, unfortunately, rip up everything and start from scratch. I do believe we will be in for some regulatory updates or maybe even reversals to see where we can go.
I got a feeling it's going to be tougher for Americans to travel there. They're going to, I think, narrow the categories or 12, maybe reduce them. And
the biggest challenge is Obama's Justice Department decided that they were not going to enforce the 12 categories. So right now it's a self-attestation, a self-affirmation. When you're flying, you say, I check off any of these boxes. Donald Trump might go back and say, we need you to prove that you're going for one of these 12. That
it was a real people-to-people. Okay, everybody, hold your thoughts for a second. We'll be right back. Going to take a break.
Awesome. Okay.
We are back with the roundtable in the middle of a discussion about whether President Trump is coming to Miami to announce taking a really hard line on Cuba policy, rolling back everything that President Obama has done. Melba, it sounds like, there's so much that has gone on business-wise, travel-wise in the past couple of years. It sounds like it's easier to talk about taking a hard line than the actual practical applications of undoing cruises and airlines.
Absolutely. And the key thing is, are we going to go back to a policy that didn't work? I mean, it was clear for what we did for a half a century. The Castros outlived pretty much 10 presidents, right? And was able to prop himself up in the world and say, you know, I was able to do better than the Americans and blame the Americans for problems in the country. Granted, I know he was responsible for some of the issues that the Cuban people are facing, but at the same token, we as Americans, as the world power, should be able to go in and help the people by spending money through our tourist dollars and showing them what democracy is.
So that begs the question, is it working?
More basically, we're creating jobs for the American people in tourism, with regard to airlines, with regard to cruise lines, and with the people exchanges. If this president is a president about jobs, 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 he should not touch
I want to
this.
address both of those points, though. HT, to your point, we have to know, I'm pro-jobs, and you know that, but we have to see who we're getting into bed with, and we have to see who we're doing these deals with. And as long as the Cuban military is the ultimate beneficiary of the American dollars flowing into the government, into Cuba, its economy, that's a problem. For people here, for the exile community, that's a massive issue. And it goes back to, Melba, your point. I want to respectfully disagree. I don't think it's fair to say that the policy failed for 50 years. It's looking at how it's designed. The embargo was never fully implemented. Our allies never implemented it, and we chose not to enforce it against our allies, because if you read through it, it says it very clearly that we would sanction any country that's in violation of our embargo, not just the Cubans. So one of the challenges we have is that the ultimate goal of the embargo is to deprive the Castros of hard currency, because that hard currency is used to suppress the Cuban people and the dissidents.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with Raphael. We need to watch who we go into bed with.
Absolutely.
And so we're in bed with Saudi Arabia, where 15 of the 17 hijackers from. We're in bed with a lot of bad people around the world. And so while we are looking at that, there are national interests that supersede the fact that a bad person may be leading a country.
You know, there's a Engage Cuba and a host of other organizations came out with a report this week, and, you know, take it at face value. It says that rolling back all of President Obama's openings would cost the U.S. $6.6 billion and 12,000 plus jobs.
And the truth is in the numbers. You know, the people that are going to suffer.
If the numbers are true.
Right. Assuming the numbers are correct.
Those numbers are kind of blue sky. I'd just like to point out that when the president recently was in Saudi Arabia, he essentially said, I'm not here to lecture you on human rights or human rights abuses or the status of women. It's all about business. He's going to come to Miami and say it's all about human rights and abuses. And the reason, I think, is because Marco Rubio and Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart have gotten his ear. And then, of course, he made these other promises
and
when
Bob
he was
Menendez
running, and Bob Menendez.
And I don't mind them getting his ear, but let's be consistent. If we're not going to lecture the people in the Middle East, we should not lecture the people in our hemisphere. If we're going to lecture one, let's lecture the other.
And not to mention, I believe that this president, this administration is acting out of spite. He's looking at everything President Obama did and trying to roll it back, whether it be climate change, whether it be emissions protection for our country, whether it be Cuba. He just wants to roll everything back to, I don't know what his motivation is on that.
Do you think that's spite or campaign promises? I mean, he is keeping promises he made to his base that voted for him in November?
Yes, but the promise that China is a currency manipulator, right?
Well,
of course,
moving the U.S. Embassy, the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem isn't going to do that. He doesn't have immigration reform. He didn't get the ban on Muslim travel. I think
the Iran deal.
Yeah, on the Iran deal.
Exactly.
I mean, there are a lot of things he promised he hasn't done. He won't be able to. He's really not going to build the wall.
Well, let's give him a little break. He hasn't been in office. This is what he's
learning politics.
For 5 months. He has time to do it. But I can tell you this: the stench of treason is encircling the Trump.
Treason from what source?
The Trump presidential campaign, from Russia, from Putin, all over. So anything else that we're talking about that's not on that's on the front page, whether it's any of these things we're talking about, is a plus for the Trump campaign. They don't want to talk about Russia. They don't want to talk about Putin.
They will
That's
be this week.
They will be this week with Comey.
On Thursday, James Comey is going to talk about things. He's not going to disclose anything that is classified, but he's going to talk about his conversations in the Oval Office. And Melba, I think this is going to be possibly the moment of the Trump presidency.
Absolutely. Did President Trump try to interfere in an active investigation? And Director Comey's position is yes. He told him to back off. That is obstruction of justice. That is a big problem for the Trump administration,
Well,
and it needs to be addressed.
That is a big moment on which to end this discussion. Wish we had more time.
Okay.
We didn't even get to talk about
HD.
Confefe.
I know, right?
Hashtag Confefe.
We didn't even- oh yeah, Confefe. Yes. Well, we said it.
Or
We
kerfuffle.
said it.
Okay. Still to come, my personal perspective about the president's decision to ditch the Paris Climate Change Agreement.